We all build our homes as a place to be safe, and she comes to her home and she faces another monster. And you, her husband. So what cancer is taken away physically, the next monster is working on her mentally, is working on her soul to destroy the only thing she has left.
He was standing over me with this machete-ish style knife. It was massive and it was covered in blood. And then I made a dash for the door and he ran toward me, slammed me up against the door, and then twisted me around and slammed me up against the wall and held the knife over me, actual horror movie status. And I just remember closing my eyes and knowing in that moment that I was going to be with Jesus, and that I wasn't going to make it through that night.
I'm a former bad husband, and it's become my mission in life to call out men, especially husbands, who put the women in their lives for mental, physical, and even sexual abuse. I want to be a voice for these people who are suffering at the hands of these men. Yeah, I used to be a bad husband, but not anymore. Let's get started.
The following episode contains subject matter that may not be suitable for all audiences. The stories and quotes you're about to hear are real. Parental discretion is advised.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us. So each week, I'm going to start my podcast in a series that I call Quotes From. It could be from anybody, from any sort of family member or boyfriend or even a brother or things of that nature. But most of my quotes focus from husbands. And this week's quote is from a husband, and it comes from Kim. Let me read to you the message that Kim sent me. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 32. 32 years old. That is the prime of your life, especially for a woman. And now she's taken everything she feels that makes her a woman away. This disease, in the height of feeling like a beautiful human being. I had a double mastectomy. Listen to this. Now that we understand where she's at in her life, listen to this. One day I was walking around our house without my shirt on when my husband said, "Cover that up. I don't want to look at it. You look like a monster." Cancer is the monster. And this monster has come in at the height of Kim's life. I'm 38. I know I'm starting to get to the downside of that hill as far as physically how things are going. But Kim was just reaching the peak. And this monster comes in and takes it away from her. It ravages her body physically. And it chips away at her slowly with every treatment, with every surgery. With every moment, she's got to think about this disease in her body. And then she comes to her home, We all build our homes as a place to be safe, and she comes to her home and she faces another monster. And you, her husband. So what cancer has taken away physically, the next monster is working on her mentally, is working on her soul to destroy the only thing she has left. It's all she has left. And you have the audacity to call her a monster? My friend, you are the monster. Matter of fact, it's far worse than cancer itself. When someone comes in and takes away everything she has left. At least on the cancer side, she had some support. At least on the cancer side, she had doctors there trying to help her. She had friends showing up to give her a hug. She had people there just trying to lift her up. But on this side, she has nobody but you tearing her down.
Hi, my name is Jenny Lee, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I've been out for 7 years now, which is so crazy to believe. They've been a really quick 7 years because the 6.5 years that I was in it, every day just seemed like the longest day as I waited for, whatever was going to happen for that night. So he pulled a knife on me. So I knew that he was drinking, and I figured, if I fall asleep, then maybe it'll lead to a peaceful night. He was standing over me with this machete-ish style knife. It was massive and it was covered in blood. I felt fine, so I knew it wasn't me, but he was hanging out with our neighbor, so I 1,000% thought that he had killed our neighbor. It was terrifying. And so I figured I was next. And so I, just said to him, oh my gosh, please, we can work through this, whatever happened, let's talk it out, let's work through this. And he just kind of had this blank stare in his face. It was insane. He had this blank stare in his face, and he walked to the kitchen. So I then got up, very slowly, very quietly, had walked to, down the hallway, right where the kitchen was at. And then I made a dash for the door, and he ran toward me, slammed me up against the door, and then twisted me around and slammed me up against the wall, and held the knife over me, actual horror movie status. And I just remember closing my eyes and knowing in that moment that I was going to be with Jesus, and that I wasn't going to make it through that night. He looked at me when I opened my eyes, and he looked at the knife. And he looked back at me, and looked at the knife, and then just walked away. And it was the weirdest thing. He set the knife down on the kitchen table, and it was almost like I felt God just telling me, okay, now's the time, go. So I darted out that front door, and I ran. I was in my pajamas, no shoes on, no phone, no keys, nothing. I ran and ran and ran and ran. There's a Motel 6 across the street. Went across the street, talked to a gal there, asked to use a phone, and then broke down, and I realized I didn't have anybody's phone number. She ended up driving me over to his mom's house that night and waited till I got inside. And so I'm grateful for strangers who look out for people, because I just never know what they're going to face. Abuse is really weird, what it does to you, and the way that he sort of started to blame me for what happened, and he was going to get fired from his job if he didn't get out, and we needed money because I was working 2 jobs and going to school, and to this day I don't know how he made it month to month. It obviously was a God thing, but he made me feel guilty. It took a lot for me to finally leave. It was that he finally hit me when he was sober. He was always drunk before then, and he finally hit me when he was sober. And then I found out that he had cheated on me. So that had happened several times throughout our marriage, but it was kind of like, he hit me when he's sober, he slept with somebody else. What am I here for? It was just like a veil was lifted off my eyes, and I just realized I don't have to do this for the rest of my life. So I didn't.
So I want to end my podcast with a little bit of encouragement. And I'm a Christian. I'm not ashamed of that. And I know many of you listening to this, you may not be a Christian. I don't want that to discourage you from listening. I'm not going to put my faith in your face. I'm simply going to use it to encourage you. So if you want to be encouraged, just keep listening. And I want to end with a verse. This verse comes out of 1 Corinthians 13:1. And I want you husbands to listen to this verse. Listen to this. If I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels. So listen, if I could speak all the languages on this planet and of angels, if you could have everything, if you could have everything, but didn't love others, So if you could speak every language there is, every language on the planet and of angels, and didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. You can have everything you want in life, everything. But if you don't love others, there is no point. Some of you husbands, you have made it your life to work as hard as you can to provide for the house. And I understand that mentality. I used to do it. I understand. And many of you, you don't do it with the intentionality of being a bad husband. That's how we're designed. We're designed to work. But if we work all day, 12 hours a day, and we come home with a bad attitude, with no love in our heart, what is the point of gaining everything you've worked for and have no love for your wife? What is the point of providing for your family, all these things, when you have animosity towards them? I know many of your husbands, you do that for good. You don't want to be lazy. You want to provide. But I want you to think about that. And then to you husbands who had just, you have pure hate in your heart for your wife, who tried to gain everything you can outside of your wife. There is no point. The Bible is clear that you are nothing but noise. You can go off and do everything you want, gain everything you want, become the richest man in the world. But if you don't have love for others, if you don't have love for your wife, you are nothing more than noise. And the world knows it. You may have people around you that tell you otherwise, but I'm telling you, they in their heart know that you are nothing but noise. What kind of life is that? To be nothing but noise to your wife, despite everything you've gained.
If you're looking for encouragement, community, and a voice for your situation, find us on your favorite social media site by searching @the Robbie Harvey.